powerful.
Seems like it's a miracle.
Yeah. It's one of a couple of things that you have to take. It's as simple as that.
Again, it's like brain food. You know, it's food for the soul, it feels like.
Well, I guess I would just say fantastic.
Get ready for some amazing results with omega-3 and sublingual beef.
I've found balance with it.
Powerful.
Auum is life-changing.
Thanks for taking the time to look at this short video. My name's RJ Miller. And our team is really focused on bringing you the best omega-3 in the world. If you take a few minutes and listen to these stories you're about to hear, I think you're going to be very impressed. We're here to let you know that we've done something really special. You see, we've created an omega-3 that's completely different than anything on the market. It is simply not from a plant source. It's not from a fish source. It is from a mammalian source. And even in the source that we use, we found a new place to look for the omega source. In addition to, we found a new way to deliver it to the body and a new way to add other fat-soluble nutrients that we often refer to as vitamins into this product. If you take a few minutes and look at some of the stories, or better yet, try the product yourself, I think this is something that can change your life. Thanks very much.
It was about a month and a half after I had started taking the Auum that I woke up one morning and realized that I wasn't limping because I had plantar fasciitis in my left heel. And I got out of bed, started walking, and there was no pain. And I said to my husband, hey, I'm not limping anymore. And that's when I realized that you know, it had started to work on my heel for the inflammation. So I had had that ailment for about a year or so and had tried just about everything. So that was wonderful. Again, I noticed getting in and out of cars was when I would normally feel the pain, and it's gone. And I've also noticed my skin has improved, my sleeping has improved, and I have wonderful dreams.
And I had a heart operation about a year and a month ago, and I wound up with an infection in my bladder, and I had a catheter in for about 7 weeks, and the last 2.5 weeks of it, I was just in terrible pain, and then I was in the emergency 9 times in less than 2 weeks with blood clots. I've been going to the bathroom at night anywhere from 12 to 15 times a night, and leaking during the day. I had to use pads and stuff. And Diane introduced me to it, and I've been taking it for less than 2 months. Mm-hmm. And 2.5 weeks ago, I stopped wearing a pad, don't put Kleenex in anymore, and I only go to the bathroom between 5 and 6 times a night. So it has certainly helped, and everybody says my color has come back.
His color is back.
I've been taking Auum since the beginning of the year, January, and since I tried it, I'd say the first day I could notice an extreme difference in my thoughts and my clarity. I'm a very scattered person. You know, I grew up very ADHD. I had independent learning plans in high school and stuff. So, you know, this type of sport and this type of lifestyle very much appealed to me because, you know, when you can pick up 8 different things and get them going all at the same time, but at times it can become very overwhelming. And I just found once I started taking it, I had better focus. It's like I had food for my brain to function, fuel for my brain, whereas normally I just get frustrated or sort of switch off and procrastinate one thing. I was able to sort of grip down and sink my hooks into it. So.
But because of my wife's health situation, I got deeply involved in health and nutrition and wellness and the whole balance of life situation. And that's where I started taking anything that would help me improve my health, my wife's health. And we've tried everything that's out on the market, and some things work, some things don't. And this oil works. Working out in the park, the way I used to finish was to sprint a ski hill. I would go down the ski hill, halfways, sprint to the top. Halfways, sprint to the top, and go to the bottom of the hill. It's a local park here in Toronto. Down to the bottom, sprint to the top, and that's it. I'm tanked. There's no energy left. And that was it. I plateaued there. I never got past that third sprint. That drained all my energy. So after about a month or so on the oil, I noticed, did my third sprint, and I got to the top of the hill, and I'm like, I do have energy left. So I continued to run around the park a little bit. I did maybe a kilometer. So this summer I ran a 10K, I ran a 16K, I ran a 21K, and then I just did a half marathon. My recovery rate was amazing. I'm sleeping better, obviously. And that's what I noticed. That was a big difference for me.
My journey towards Auum started through a fellow nutritionist who I commented that her skin was lovely. She just announced she was a grandmother, and I couldn't believe that she was. And she said the product is also amazing for learning disabilities, and I was immediately interested because my son has a learning disability. He was 11 at the time, diagnosed with a processing issue. On the third day, I noticed that he was a little bit different. He was maybe a happier version of himself, a little bubblier. I asked him after school, Eric, do you feel different? And he said, no, why? And I said, you just seem really happy. And he said, no, I just had a really good day. So I said, well, that's great. And off he went. He said, I'm going to do my homework. And off he went. Well, about 10 minutes later, he came back from his room and he said, Mom, I do feel different. So I said, wow. Inside it was, wow. I was so excited. And I said, well, what are you feeling? He said, my eyes feel more open, which was really interesting way to put the fact that I felt he was focusing or able to focus easier. And he just said, sorry, it's emotional. He said, cool. And off he went. And that was, excuse me, it's, as a mother, you're gonna cry too. He jumped 2 grade levels in math in one season, which was pretty incredible. And he's just a better him.
My story is this. 10 months ago, I died on an operating table. And 1 week later, I met Bobby, R.J. Miller. And he gave me something very cool. 5 weeks later, after being clinically dead, having part of one of my major internal organs removed, and being cut open from here to here, I was doing jumping roundhouse kicks 5 weeks later.
Well, when you use a D3A, if you've been using the Sub-D, the D3A takes you to the next level.
My 11-year-old son, who's nonverbal, has been taking the Auum Omega-3 Sublingual D for about 2 years now, and we recently got to test out the D3A. He said banana clearly. Now that to me is life-changing.